CM Punk.
Let's talk about that motherfucker for a second. CM Punk walked out, of wrestling, and as far as I'm concerned, just stay out of it. I don't need him in my life anymore. The entire wrestling world wants CM Punk to be back into wrestling. I don't need it. I think that there's far too much of the wrestling world wanting him back, and they want him back like they want Half-Life 3. And when we never are ever going to get Half-Life 3...
Well, that's because Valve can't count to 3.
We'll get there. Because Half-Life 3 will never... Because it's been wanted so hard, Half-Life 3 will never live up to its own expectations.
Oh, God, no.
To the fans' expectations. A CM Punk return is not going to live up to anything anymore. He's just going to... He can do now the Chris Jericho / Patton Oswalt thing where he can just walk onto the stage and go... Where you can just go and get looked at and earn that paycheck. He doesn't have to do...
Well, that's what he does at every StarCast now. He does fan meetings and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's all he needs to do.
That's it. That is all he needs to do, and he knows it.
Well,
he'll get the itch to wrestle again, but he'll do exactly what he said he's going to do, and that's put on a mask. He'll get into a ring.
So what he's been doing for the past 5-10 years.
Yup. Since he left WWE.
Yeah.
He's going to do that. He's going to get under a mask and wrestle one of his buddies, and no one in the audience is going to know that it's him. And whoever the heck it was that got into the ring, what was it, the day after Punk was at a signing? And got into the ring under a mask and did a GTS onto somebody and then left the ring, and everybody went, oh my god, it's CM Punk! And that's what got us all talking about the fact that he just does this. That wasn't Punk.
Didn't look
that
like
wasn't
Punk.
It didn't look like him.
If it did, it was exceptionally rusty.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's an incredibly rusty Punk, and Punk is not rusty. I guarantee you that. If he's still going,
he's still doing MMA and
shit, getting under masks and wrestling his buddies, he's not rusty. And that was either a very, very ham-hocked attempt at making somebody look like it's CM Punk to get everyone talking, which it did, publicity.
Okay, now, what do you think about the reasons Punk left WWE?
I don't blame him in the slightest. I don't blame him for that. Having heard, again, I don't work for WWE, but we've listened to a handful of internet commentary and reports.
We have listened to Punk's side of it.
And yes, and the idea that he's been repeatedly told from WWE's doctors, are you sure you're hurt or can you work? And he went, fuck you, I can work. And it's not terribly surprising at all. I'm sure that the landscape within WWE has changed a bit since then. A bit.
Oh, yeah.
They're a tad bit more cautious with their wrestlers' health, but I'm sure that it's still a far cry from what it should be. And it does not surprise me in the slightest that Punk walked out when he did for those reasons that he did. And at that time, if WWE had watched him walk out and went, holy shit, that is a good reason to fix our system. If that would be motivation enough for the WWE to renovate their entire healthcare system, put something new in place and say, Punk, you were absolutely right. We were doing this wrong. Let's talk. If they had done that, I would have believed Punk coming back within a year of him walking out. Not now.
I'm still on the never say never page because honestly, we've said that a lot, and I think as people get older, they change, they start, to get the itch again, or if nothing else, they start to feel nostalgic, or they can't do the stuff that they used to, but they still want to be in the business, maybe get an alumni contract, or just come back and make an appearance, try to make nice, because look, we all age, we get older, we want to make things that we regret. There may come a point where, Punk wants to, or Trips finally gets a hold of Punk and, says, hey, look, I want to make amends. We just maybe want to put you in the Hall of Fame or something, or just one time. You don't even have to do anything. Just come out, have a microphone, air your grievances, and then leave.
Punk will show up again in WWE to be put in the Hall of Fame, if nothing else.
Maybe.
If Vince gets off his high horse and decides
I think it's not going to be until Vince is gone.
Right.
But maybe, honestly, because Punk and Trips never got along either.
Depending on how much Triple H...
but Triple H has changed a lot, too.
You're right.
And I think I, again, we all get older, we all age, and I mean, fucking look at Bret Hart.
Yeah, but you're saying that he's going to get that itch again. He
I
has
said
gotten that itch.
maybe.
He might get that itch again. He has gotten the itch, and he has scratched it under a mask with his friends.
No, I'm not talking about like the wrestling itch. I'm talking about the itch to be in front of a crowd like that again. Because you're not going to get that just wrestling with your buddies under a mask.
No.
You're not, because there might come a day where he just wants to really just feel like
He
CM
won't.
Punk again. And it
He's
doesn't look
CM
like
Punk.
his MMA career is going anywhere.
But he is CM Punk in the sense that he doesn't need WWE to give him a platform to air his grievances.
No,
He
you're
can go
absolutely
and
right.
be his own one-man show somewhere and say, "Hey, I am CM Punk. I'm going to be at this theater. I'm doing a TED Talk type
Yeah,
of thing." He's going to
absolutely.
walk up there and he's going to grab a microphone and he's going to air his own grievances where he doesn't have producers that are going to cut off his mic when he says something that they don't agree with.
Well, now, having said that, what would you think about the thoughts going around that, of course, everybody wants CM Punk to go to AEW, but what would you think about what we talked about before about maybe him literally just doing it out of spite? Because honestly, from what we've seen of him, that feels like something he might actually consider.
While that feels like something that fits him in that sense, I would wager that Punk looks at AEW and sees a lot of red flags, and sees a lot of a second coming of WC or third or fourth coming of WCW, however you want to look at it, and say like that there were only a handful of things that Cody and the Bucks talked about pre AEW, like during the press conferences,
Mm-hmm.
that would suggest that they're going to do anything different than WWE. There's only a little bit there. And I don't know
Well,
that that little bit would be enough for Punk to say AEW has my support. I think that he wishes them luck,
mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
but I bet you money that
Well, I
there
also,
was supposedly a text conversation between an agent and Punk's side of things.
yes, but they've also claimed
That
that they've reached out to him personally, too,
okay,
not just text.
well, sure thing. But Punk is, if I recall correctly, Punk has gone on record to say that was not an offer.
There's also been talks about possibly bringing him into AEW. Now, this is a rumor I have heard online. Like, I read it somewhere and then I
Mm-hmm.
saw a video alluding that it, because maybe bringing Punk in as a like consultant or more of a backstage guy to help run the backstage thing to make it be a little bit less like WWE.
The only thing that I would have to say about that is you're going to put Punk on your payroll and not put him in front of the camera
I would do it. I would
and not put him
absolutely
on a
do it.
microphone.
I would do it, but I would do it and not put him out there for literally just at least the first 6 months of the TV run. You don't want to rely on Punk. You don't want.
No,
I
no, no.
mean, I wouldn't even honestly. I wouldn't even make an announcement that he'd been signed. Yes, the dirt sheets are going to pick it
Do the
up.
thing that they did with Moxley.
Yes, everybody, like a lot of people are going to pick it up. A lot of people are going to pick it up, even if he's very quietly signed. Even if they don't put out an announcement like they just did with Tony Schiavone,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fucking awesome that they got Tony Schiavone, by the way. Um, but I yeah, I would absolutely do that. I would sign him to a backstage booker position, help him run it, have him help run it as smoothly, not necessarily different from WWE, but like maybe in a bit, what's the word I'm looking for, more progressive manner.
Okay.
Because I do like the fact that AEW has that little bit of something for everybody. They're not just focused on, you know, the big performers. They're bringing in the comedic wrestlers. They're bringing in the indie guys that the people love, but they're also doing the big serious matches and the really athletic matches. And they've even got the, as Cornette calls it, the boys in for the flippy shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they do have something for everybody, and I really do like that. And I think Punk could contribute to that in a really different way. I just,
I also don't know how Punk feels about the business as a whole anymore.
mm-hmm.
I know he loves the in-ring psychology and he loves to be a part of the performance, but the notion of participating in the business aspect of it, I do believe, from what I've been hearing in reports, that is what has severely rubbed Punk the wrong way, and
Mm-hmm.
AEW is assuredly going to be another division of that
Well,
and
yes,
not an
but
alternative.
think about this. Think about this is an opportunity to take a brand new company, a fledgling company that desperately not only wants to separate itself from WWE, to prove it's different and more progressive and more accepting and more talent minded than money minded. And I think this is a really good opportunity to have people like Punk to take their knowledge, to take their experiences, and um, even just the desire to do something different and put that knowledge to good use.
Mm. All right. So, TLDR: do you want to see Punk return in front of a camera?
Okay, absolutely. Yes, I would absolutely love that. But honestly, I'd want it to be on his own terms, and I don't want to see any MMA shit.
Mm.
I absolutely do, but again, I'd want it to be on his own terms. And if he wants to join a wrestling company and impart his, years of wisdom and knowledge and experience, that's great. If he doesn't want anything to do with it, man, that's awesome. Let him and AJ live their life and be happy,
Mm-hmm.
man. I totally get why he left, and I totally get why he would never come back, and I totally get why, if he would ever come back, why he would.
I would want my take on it is I would like him to. I would also like to be on his terms, but whatever it is that he's going to do, I don't particularly care if I ever see him again.
That's fair.
I admit it, full disclosure, I didn't see any of CM Punk's matches outside of WWE. I have not yet seen any of his matches out.
You should look
I
up a lot
probably
of his
should.
Ring of Honor
I
stuff.
probably should see some of his other stuff to see what his potential could be in other promotions. But it's been too much of a talking point since he walked out of WWE
Oh
that
yeah, literally
mm-hmm,
every video on wrestling is CM Punk going to AEW? Is CM Punk doing this? Like, man, let the man breathe. Like
yeah,
he's doing the Starcast. We know he's going to be in the area, and that's great. But man, if he doesn't want to do nothing, let him fucking be.
yep, just let him be. Let him be and let him be on his own. I don't need to see it. I
We have more than enough talent and stuff going on now to focus on that aren't being promoted properly, that we can help, rise up.
agreed.
Agreed.